So, can you tell me what your business name and or your endeavors like name is?
Okay, so originally my main business is called the House of Ella Rouge,
Yes.
which is my fashion business. But what I am presenting for the pitch is called SYO.
SYO?
Yes, which is So Youthful Organization.
Okay.
It is a DBA under the House of Ella Rouge.
Nice.
So it's a youth program for a sewing youth program.
Sewing youth program. I love that. And how are things going right now between your business and then your pitch?
Okay, so it's a little shaky because I'm trying to combine them to make my pitch really great, to not really take everything from my original business and keep it solid at, hey, this is the House of Ella Ruth, but right now I am presenting about So You Food, which is under the House of Ella Ruth.
Okay, I like that.
So it is a little bit tough to just be talking about So Youthful because my main business is just mainly about me making clothes for others besides the youth, if you understand what I
Yeah, that
mean.
makes sense. So you're coming out with a new program
Well,
for youth.
it's okay. So it's like this. This program is a program I started in 2016, and with COVID coming into play, it really really put a damper on it. So I end up having to change it a little bit and put a pause on it. So it did gain revenue. It did host a bunch of classes for youth from the age of 10 on up to 19. So I
That's
did
awesome.
actually get a chance to do business under So Youthful, but it wasn't So Youthful at the at
At the
at
time.
the time. It was just a sewing youth program under the House El Rouge,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I just recently, separated the two and put SYO.
Okay. I like that.
I think it's catchy.
Yes. And how did the sewing program go for the youth? What's the end impact for them?
Okay. So basically, the sewing program is to provide mentorship as well as leadership skills through design. So, design meaning sewing, painting, anything that you can think of that's art. So, I have a stylist class as well. So, anybody that's I keep it to like an age bracket. So, anybody's like 10 to 19 can get into this class. The younger students can do like from 5 to 9 can do the painting,
Hmm.
and then I have draping. A lot of people doesn't don't know that draping is still a major part of, excuse me, sewing. So I offer these courses to help keep the youth out of trouble. Keep them busy.
That makes
Most of
sense.
the time, the youth is have too much time on their hands. So I have seen a rise in crime and things in my local area. I'm from Detroit, Michigan,
Very
so
nice.
I just decided to do things like that. I think it's helpful.
I think that is something that, it, as you've already seen, has been helpful in your community as they've come to be a part of your previous class. I grew up in Troy, Michigan, so I'm very
Oh,
close to that area.
okay.
But yeah, your pitch. The thing I want to encourage too is, as much as your pitch is important to do and be on some track, and then you have your pitch day, yourself and your business are most important.
Yes.
So if they're not having everything together is great because it opens up all room for growth. Um,
I'm like,
yep. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very stressful because, like I said, when COVID hit, I stopped all of my courses. I still had some people calling me in the beginning when COVID started, and it's like, oh, well, my son wants to learn how to sew, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. I'm like, we can do virtual. But a
yeah,
lot
but
of people was not at that time, to be honest with you, even though a lot of people is savvy with the internet, a lot of people was like, I'm not doing virtual. I'm not gonna pay you to do a course with my child virtually. Now people would do it with me now because my
yes.
business has grown and my name has, grown a little bit more. So
That makes sense.
sometimes it's different.
Yep, that's true. And people are used to virtual things now more than they
Oh
were in the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
So how is your pricing right now for your pitch? There's two questions I have. I'm going to ask the pitch question first.
Okay.
Currently, your pitch deck itself,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds like the challenge, or we're trying to get that accomplished. How is that going? And then where are some things that I could help out with your pitch deck?
Okay, so are you saying far as like in the business like aspect of the revenue of what how do I plan to find
Um,
money? Or
so w- we could answer that. So how do you plan to charge? How do you make revenue? Um,
okay.
that's one question.
So with SYO, I have 5 to 6 different brackets that I break classes down into, which I did have on here and I took it out. And I know you might say, why did you take it out? I took it out because
Yeah.
I looked at the way the slides are lined up out there and I'm like, oh my God, this is not great. But now, after sitting and really thinking on this, I should have left that in because it'll also give people understanding like, hey, so she has this figured out, it's
Mhm.
broken down. But to be honest with you, some of the courses are broken down into affordable fees, I feel like from age to from 5 to 9. Maybe a course is $200 and you have payment options to pay it off. It's 4 weeks. So I usually utilize the whole month with these students. And what I do is use one day of the week with them for 5 hours. So it gives them a chance to work on whatever they're working on for the whole month that they're with me, but they're only with me 4 times for $200, you know. And then so it's so on. As the age bracket goes up, then you have the 7 to 9 year olds. That is 325, and then it goes up into 17 on up to 17 and 19, and those classes are more advanced. So those are $325. But each class comes with 20 hours of service from me of teaching. It also comes with a certificate at the end that states that they accomplish, their goals in this class. And we also will be doing mentorship and leadership workshops throughout. And then also at the end, I throw a annual fashion show for anybody that has attended my course throughout the year. I do one fashion show, and they are able to bring any of the work that they ever worked on and showcase it to their
Nice.
family, invite their friends and family to the fashion show to see what they're doing.
That's awesome,
And I
actually.
actually have done that, so that
Perfect.
and it turned out great.
I'm happy that it did. Are you a for-profit or non-profit?
I'm a for
For-profit? Okay, that's awesome. And then transitioning that into your pitch deck. I'm happy that you have put things into your deck, saw some things, you pivoted, and then as you've pivoted, you've also analyzed that. So has that transitioned into something new in your deck right now?
Yeah, well, honestly, yes, it has, because I have, like when I broken down, I have to pull up this back up. Sorry, when I
Nice.
broken down my pitch, I broke down everything for the price wise, and I'm just going to go to it here. Sorry, I wish I could have sent
No
this, but I
worries.
broke
Great.
down the plans for funding as I put it. I don't know if I can turn this around
You
so you
can,
can
yes,
see it.
yes.
So um, it's not all together, but you definitely can look at it. So the plans for funding, really, I was asking for $10,000. I think $10,000 will be great to help out with this. I'm
Yes.
not asking to cover, but help out. So 4,000 going to like the supplies and tools that's needed. 3,500 going to rent, utilities, marketing, and then the annual fashion show. 1,000 going towards like scholarships, giving back to the students, because I think showing some initiative will help bring them in. 400 going into like bus rental for field trips. I do field trips that can go along with the stuff that we do, like any artistic things, museum and things like that. $100 I did say I wanted to use towards like snacks. A lot of times children don't come to my class with snacks, so they're kind of hungry. So snacks, anything healthy, water, fruit, and $1,000 for payroll, because though I am great at what I do, I cannot do this by myself, and I do believe with having the youth, it takes a village for real. So
That makes sense.
just those are just the things I would like to cover with the 10,000. I think it can help me, and because I already bring in revenue from my uh, head company, which is the House of El Rouge, for making wedding dresses, prom dresses, and stuff like that. I use that money normally to help fund
The
SYO.
okay. Yep.
So, and then when people pay for their kids to be in the course, I take a small portion of that and put it towards the kids. So I buy things in bulk. So, hey, I know I have 6 kids attending this class, and then I maybe get all their kit bags and probably get them
Yes.
at a bulk price. I try not to do the separate prices because I noticed when I first started, I was scared. First started everything kind of scared. I really didn't know what avenue to take. I didn't know if anybody would come to my class. I didn't know if anybody would want to deal with me as a teacher. But surprisingly, my first class I had 10 people. And then my second class I had 6 people. And then my third class I had 11 people. So it all went different. But the thing is, why I love these classes because I treat it like a mini university. As people will call, she has a sewing mini university. So I would do, like I told you, the 4 weeks. So these people would spend 4 weeks with me in basic sewing, another 4 weeks with me in intermediate, another 4 weeks with me in advanced. So you're with me for 3 months.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of money. I've been blessed, but I've also poured it back into my company and poured it back into the youth. So,
That definitely makes sense.
you know, I'm really excited about what SYO can accomplish and how far it can go. I know it can go far. I just have to get it together and pitch it the way I know I have it in my heart.
I hear that.
I got it. I got
Yes.
it. Gotta,
You have a successful business, and you also have a business structure too, that's moving money as well.
yes.
Would you like me to look through your pitch real quick and give you just some recommendations?
A lot of because like I said, I've seen 2 different ways to do it, and I'm telling you, I got like 5 different presentations on this computer, and you would probably think I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? And she's saying, I have 5 different presentations, like done this way, done this way, done this way. And I looked at certain slides. I'm like, do we need to have the revenue showing what we made? Should we have our marketing point? Like, are we just talking about our target market on one of those? Should we really include our revenue if we made revenue with this particular business? I'm a little confused on just those things with a couple of slides, but.
Okay.
And then I want to know about my pictures. I am one of those fashion designers who design more of a, let's say, fancier adult clothing, more fitted.
Yeah.
So I know that with doing this particular pitch and showing this, there will be children and things like that. And I want to be careful what I do show. I do have children on, if you look through, I do have some pictures of kids, and I do have more pictures of the youth in clothes that I've made from the first programs, and some kids sewing and cutting patterns at a table. I don't have high quality pictures of all of that. So that's where I'm kind of getting confused on what to show. Any pictures that
Is this one your?
Yes, that's my work, and that came from a great photographer, and that's so high quality. So I do love that, but that is also a garment that is under the House of Ella Rouge.
And the House of Ella Rouge is, just so I can understand, the House of Ella Rouge is your parent company, and then SYO, that's a separate entity, or is it just a program?
It's a okay. So this is how I gotta put it. It's a DBA under the House of Ella Rouge.
Okay, so
but it's just going strictly towards the youth, youth sewing.
That makes sense.
So it's not really a different. I hate to say it. Is it really a different?
So here's what I would say: the DBAs, when you meet with Eric, ask these questions, because you have a parent and holding company structure mentally, maybe structurally, physically, but what ends up happening sometimes is you'll have your parent, and then you'll want to do like a sub brand or something different, DBA under, and then as you're going out and doing business, it could just be a department, it could just be a program, but at some point you may have to actually make an entity.
And that's what I was wondering, because honestly, before I did make it a DBA, I asked a few people I know, like, do you think I have to, or I should make this a separate? They was like, why don't you just DBA under it, since it's still your sewing company? So honestly, that's why I did it. I did talk to a lot of people higher up than me, but that doesn't mean they were right.
Yes.
And I do see where you're going with that, because I thought on it strong. I'm like, this could actually be its own separate entity on it. It's a whole separate business, because it is separate, but it's one and the same.
Yes.
Because I'm not actually having these children cater to adults. With the House of Ella Rouge, you are making wedding dresses, you are making children clothes, but you are men clothes, women clothes. You're doing some everything. I make drapes,
and it's
everything.
And the House of Ella Rouge is moving as a business. Yeah. So if it was me too, when I'm up there on stage, and here's what I'll say too about the your slides. this is a easy, good front picture if you wanted to. You could even change it into one of your pictures.
But as I don't
Um,
know how.
in terms of like changing the picture or putting yours in there.
Putting mine
In
or
there.
how to.
Let's see here.
But you sent my picture back because I thought it would look nice with one of my actual work or me or some a youth that I have, you know. Because honestly, my sons, I have two sons. My son, my oldest son is 13. I started with him first though. I started this way before 2016, but I did not push it as a thing until I started having others besides my son on it. And my
Yes.
son, he started when he was 4. So I did start him a clothing line when he was 4. He did have it in a couple of fashion shows throughout Detroit, Michigan. And then, you know, as he got older, he said, "Hey, I don't want to do it anymore." And now he's just now coming back around, which I'm like, this is so great because
Yes.
SYO is like, okay. So I'm like, you know, he's like, "I want to do hoodies." I'm like, oh my God, yes. I'm so happy. So he's going to be one of my students, son students, you know, but he's going to produce um, some hoodies for the pitch day just to put on display
Yes.
that he did his own work. It won't be my work. So
Is
I'm like,
he?
it's great.
So, two things. One, I love that. That part of your story should. If there's two parts of your story I would work in: the House of Ella Rouge, and then the history and background with your family or stories like such.
Okay.
Because the audience and the judge, I will now know that you have a great experience in making clothing. You have a great experience in sewing. Your community is aware. They're receptive. They're taking your class, but the SYO is not the same. House of Ella Rouge not the same as SYO.
Right.
But so you want to hit SYO, but the history of SYO is the fact that a House of El Rouge has been doing so good. Now that we have been doing well, we want to affect our community in a better, positive way. So we're offering these courses to bring it in. So yes, to the SYO, and so yeah, and so here's the other thing too is that one, you're now gonna have this on audio and recording, so you can go back and rewatch it. Yes, I'm gonna once I'm done with this, in probably the next 40 hours, I'll send out an original to you.
Because I would love to put it like that because you know,
Yes.
one thing I got nervous about is by presenting SYO, am I losing the House of Ella Rouge?
No. You can run both your businesses. You're actually just going to be pitching to judges and people that are going to determine if you win in their eyes and if you get money. The nice thing is your business doesn't change at all. Also, we don't require anything of your business. So if you go and you're like, I need to put the $8,000 into the House of Rouge, and then it works. So I think
that was my thing. I thought I had to pour it all into SYO.
it would.
I mean, but I think that would be great because that's what
yes, exactly. Yep. And also, if SYO is the same as House of El Rouge, you'll just be doing the same. So
yeah.
For this picture, the nice thing is it's this whole background's just a big picture. So all you gotta do is click on it, and then you'll be able to. So that
like right click.
Just like a left click, just like click on it so you can identify it. So like it's fine now. You want to click on like the picture background, and then you can actually drag and move it. You can hit the delete button and delete it.
Oh.
And then you can create another picture or pull another picture up there. But this picture back here is is deletable. So you can take that right out.
But this is why it's so great to never stop learning.
Yeah. Yep.
So
same
can I ask you, with this particular background, in order, if I do put a picture in place there, am I just sending it to back for it to expand back there?
You can set it as the background if you want.
Oh, as the background.
Or you can pull it until it expands. And then this is like an opacity filter they put on it, so they made it like a little bit see-through opacity.
Yeah, I like that though. Like it gives like if I was a person on the outside looking, and this is probably, I'm gonna be honest why I chose this, the colors of the logo, which I'm sorry I don't know, it's not on there. The colors of the logo, if I can show you, is actually those colors, and I think those colors are sentimental because it's just a simple.
Oh yeah, and here's what I would say too. This background, there's nothing wrong with it. Honestly, I don't know the difference at all. But and for me, a media person, I say that might be a stock photo, versus their photo. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Oh no, but what you're suggesting is what I tried. I just didn't know how to
Yes.
put my
Yeah.
picture, but I also know I can't get it that color, which is that's very beautiful.
Yes.
But I do feel like my originals would probably mean more. My own work would probably mean more.
I would try that out. Um, and then your second page here. Um,
That's where I
I'm
kind of got
going
a bit
to
off.
just go into so I can do this real quick.
But yeah, this was just a little logo with a little sewing machine at the
I like it.
bottom.
Yep. It brings it back in the representation of what you're actually doing. Um, I think this is good. Add your logo up there if you'd like, and
Okay,
then
well, I will put that. This can go up there. Okay, great.
that would be great up there. And then this second page, what I would recommend doing is start chunking down on words that aren't going to necessarily be useful.
Okay,
So try to get this less than 50 words.
less than 50
Yep.
words.
And if you can get this to maybe 30.
Okay.
And so what I end up doing now is, and I don't recommend that you use the end product, but if you want to make this smaller or shorter, you can go find an AI application online. Say, hey, this is the mission statement of my business. I would like this shortened down to 2 or 3 sentences. Give me an example. And it'll give
Okay.
you an example. And then you can read that and say, okay, that's an idea. Now I can start working on this one. So if you
Right.
need a little bit of an assistant while you're sitting there, Microsoft Edge
Okay.
has it built in. Chat GPT.
I like that one.
If you're used to that,
Yeah.
drop this right in there, and I always put in front. Let it know how you want it to think.
Okay.
So say I want you to think like my marketer or my business
And I
manager.
remember you said that when you came last
You
time,
know,
right?
and then you just copy and paste that into it, and it'll help you out a little bit if you'd like.
Okay.
So shorten this up, and then I would maybe put a photo here, maybe about you or your son or your family or something that represents
Okay.
us.
So this is where I got a little confused at. So the about us does not necessarily mean it shouldn't be about SYO. It should be about me and like that's where I got confused. Is this one about the business, the second slide, or is this about
Uh,
SYO?
I'll give you a partial advice on that. It Do both. Your business is you, and you're a part of your business as well.
So maybe talk about me and like, hey, I'm Aunt Alicia. I'm 34 from Detroit, Michigan, the mother of two,
Yes.
the fashion designer, owner of the House of La Rouge as well as SYO.
Yes,
Oh
exactly.
yeah.
And then you go a little bit into the House of Ella Rouge has been doing fashion for X, and as you all saw out there, my son's hoodies, and oh, that person we have out there that's doing some sewing on the chair, showing you how to do it. Those type of things would bring into the us and spend just a short amount of time on that, but you can add a little bit more time on that because that's where we get a little. That's the draw first, and then your problem. Um, there's uh, and maybe you do have it. There's an outline of how to like what matters on the
Right.
actual slide.
Right.
As much as possible, I would recommend the data that's in here. If When is this data true to your company, or is this
Well,
is this
this is about the
the
basically this is the problem with the teen violence rise in
yes.
Detroit. So I actually looked up on it and it showed like different levels and it was just like it went up into the 6 percentile recently, like within the last few weeks. So and that's how I broke it down with the age ranges. It said it
Mhm.
actually had a thing on TV, so I was actually like, wow. But if I need to take that out, I will take that out.
Well,
I want to do whatever is best for this.
yes. Just best recommendation. This data information may not be relevant straight to the House of Ella Rouge or SYO.
Okay,
I'd rip it out and I'd
great.
say, honestly, the House of Ella Rouge and SYO, one of our missions is to be able to bring youth in, and that keeps them off the streets. It keeps them out of the crime for that amount of time and gives them another way to X.
Okay, so when we're talking about the problem, because I know like this is the third slide and here's going to problem then solution. So for the problem, if I like I have market gap. So I put not enough mentorship youth programs locally.
Yes.
That was one of the problems I felt.
Yes.
So let's say we don't have that graph in there. I put violence on the rise involving the youth. I put youth in need of self-awareness leadership guidance. So
Yes.
those were my three main things
Yeah.
that I felt.
Rip everything else out.
Okay.
And picture up there, or
But
something.
I'm wondering, that's
Yes,
what I'm
go on.
wondering,
Yep.
because that is the problem. Those three, I think those three are really good for us, like just a problem. What kind of picture am I putting there? Am I putting pictures of my work with the youth, or am I putting pictures of things that say stop the violence? You know what I mean? That's where I'm getting confused at.
I would recommend a picture of you and the youth. I would recommend putting a picture up there of the solution. Walk them into your next door. You want to walk them through your house like you're guiding them. So they're coming in, they learn a little about you in the foyer. Here's my living room. It's a little messy, but we're trying to clean it up. But here's our dining room and our kitchen.
Yeah.
And our kitchen's where we're making stuff.
Because I do have pictures of, like I said, the youth sitting at a table cutting patterns. And I have pictures of you like pinning stuff to a mannequin and getting ready to sew. I don't know if those pictures would be kind of useful there.
These type of pictures in the solutions, the ones you just described, are great for the solution. I would maybe put one picture on the problem page that kind of has the semblance of that. So if you're dealing with the youth, and it doesn't necessarily have to just be like someone sewing, but I wouldn't recommend having it be like youth violence.
Right.
Have it come back to the SYO. Yes, have it go back.
Youth.
So youthful.
SEW.
I like that.
So it's still it's saying it's not like it's just like SO youthful, but it's SYO, which is SEW. So it's still sewing. There's So Youthful organization.
I like that.
Yes. Catchy.
Yes.
Okay, so I get what you're saying, and I think I want to make sure I understand. So on this solution page, this is all of my work. This is in the picture down there is my son, and that is my niece. My son, this is his clothing line that you see that the children have on. So would these pictures be best in a solution, or what do you recommend? But you're saying for the problem, I need to find a great picture.
Just one. It doesn't. So for the problem page, I think that you should find a middle of the road picture. Like if I saw someone sitting at a table sewing, that would be okay. Saying, okay, well, the youth is out. We already know youth might be running the streets. I may not need to see that.
Yeah, nobody really wants to see that.
What I want to see is, okay, well, what are you gonna do about it? And so when I see that, I'm gonna see it and then look at you and listen. And then when you come over to the solutions page, have these pictures or like pictures, and then your text here. If you keep your text short, and you don't need to necessarily change all of this, but you have your main topics here. If you do not think you need all this wording, take it out, make it as a note for yourself, or put it in your brain to say, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about a little bit.
Oh, okay. So I think I got you.
Yep.
So on here where it says the solution, I can say close the gap, target the audience, and cost savings.
Yes.
So those are my solutions, my three solutions. But on the stage, I can say to help the youth find better ways to channel their energy. And so really what you're saying is less is more, and take out that and put that into wording.
Yes.
For the actual pitch.
Yes.
And leave these three highlights on there so people can understand. Bam, she's trying to the solutions to close the gap.
Yes.
Target the audience.
Yep.
Cost savings or savings. So maybe I need to word that.
Yeah,
a little different.
The closing the gap, cost savings. Some of these things reduce costs for youthful. You could just put cost saving up there, and again, have those as a little note. You could even have a note card if you want, but have them as a note for yourself in there, and then.
But is something in there? I mean, as far as I know, if I take out the other stuff, but with those three the three highlighted, is it something in there that seemed like it's not really worth putting in there, or I should honestly put something different to make it more
Okay, so
to make it easier for the audience to kind of understand. Because maybe I understand it, but I definitely want the audience to like understand what I'm saying. So I mean, I can say those things, but I can shorten those up when I'm saying it on stage.
I think that new recommendation. So the white text, I think, is valuable.
Then the green text.
The green text, I would just change the name or title of what your header is, because this to help with define better ways, channel energy, youthful engagement.
Like, yeah. So two little words will be
Yep.
that whole thing.
Or you could have this there or shorter, but yeah.
That's what that means. Close the gap. Youthful engagement.
Your target audience, the aforementioned. Teach them skills for the future, or skills growth, or the target audience.
You know this. You're good. Simple stuff. But see, that's what I'm still trying to learn, even as a business owner. Like to say, simplest things that mean so much. You know what I mean? Like you just said. Like, hey.
And honestly, the nice thing I tell everyone about business is, this took me 7 years to learn. And so it could take someone shorter, but it's not a rush, and some things it's we'll get. So I think that would be a good way. And then this cost savings, I think that it could be a cost saving on their clothing, but this down here, I would just change that to something that talks more to the scholarships or the value building for them.
For scholarships. I mean, because that is one thing I definitely
flexible financing. Everyone.
Yes, I wish I could write these things.
You'll have it on video. But flexible financing, and then okay.
And that can be taken out as well. I think I had this as just an extra.
The benefits are great. I would just say that get down to the long end benefit of like, they are able to learn a new skill. They're
so basically, if I think I got you right, take something out of each one and make one whole thing, like just one line
or just a little bit shorter, and then talk more.
When I'm actually
on stage.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
But is this even with this?
I love the picture. The picture's great. If that was your front page picture, honestly. But
I mean, I like this as my front page picture, but I didn't know if this was too much. But this is El Rouge.
Yes.
This is the house of El Rouge. Really.
SYO.
SYO is just my youth.
And your youth is affected by House of El Rouge, and
really? I'm not writing there.
Yes, and at some point the youth could come and work in House of El Rouge, if not already. So
actually, my son did. Yep. He actually did. He worked at my boutique.
Oh, those are things that I would tell you to have confidence in and understanding that you can build a new entity or a new part of your business or a new initiative, and it still can have a backing of your original. So, but
this will be a great, because honestly, I don't mind using myself, because I do model a lot of my stuff, but I for some reason love to see somebody that is not me in my brand. It just to me it stands out more. Of course she's gonna say she love her stuff. It's her stuff, but somebody else wearing it and looking great in it. And then it's the way that this picture, the material, I did my thing right. I did really great.
And here's what I would say too: since you do that perspective, you do have on that, gives you more value to maybe keep that picture there, because as you're going down through your slide, you're at the point now where you can say, well, we're in our family room. This is where we're just gonna sit and relax. That's your end product.
It is though.
That's your end product. That's your perfected end product. So you can be up there talking about the benefits and saying, actually, this is one of our. And so those are things that I would say would be worth looking at. Um,
Yeah. So even with now, I wanted to do this different, but I just want to give you,
uh,
give you an example of the the last page. So with this page, you see, I did have a student that was she's sewing. That's where I'm confused where to put that because this is what SYO is about teaching, and I actually have a whole class back there. But
yes.
I don't know where to implement these pictures.
You could put that on the one of them on the solutions page, but you could leave it right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I would say that page, if you took some of the words out, dot it up here, or put it on a note, put it as there's 1 to 3 bullet points there.
So that's not to cut you off. I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to really figure out because even though I'm asking for the $10,000 funding, I'll even condense this because you should. The list ran off, but
Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe I say, hey, 8,000, and then it covers da 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 da, and then 1,000 or I don't know if I should shorten that to kind of get because this is a lot just to see, you know.
I would say if someone has said put the price point on there, you can, but my recommendation, take off the numbers. Unless you have specific costs.
So they did tell us we had to break down
the numbers.
Okay. What like that they have to know what we're going to be using it for. So that's why I kind of broke, and actually everybody did. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Because everybody was doing it, and he said like they'll be asking like, hey, you want $10,000, but what do you need it for? Oh, I need it for a new building. Okay, how much is the new building? What else do you need? So that's why.
If that has been the recommendation,
right.
Keep it. And I would say the words underneath it, I would say put that, the parentheses with all of those in there. I saw and I said, these are great for talking.
Take those for talking and just put simple stuff like tools.
SYO program shirts or materials or certificates. Some of those, that could be 1 or 2 things on that line for 4,000. Rent and utilities, that could be one line for 3,500. You could put.
You're saying like I don't literally have to put every single.
Yes.
thing.
Yes. Yep.
But because I know, so if push came to shove, and I had to I'll talk about it.
Yes.
But it'll be simple things here.
Yep. And then that will give them less to read, listen, look at you, and then the other part it'll do is it'll give you more room to make your pictures bigger.
Yeah, because I don't really want. I know it's 3 minutes, and I don't want to bore. I'm usually not a bore, but I definitely when I was reading, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not bored with me, but I'm like, girl, can we? Yeah. So I mean, I kind of critiqued myself too because I'm telling you, it ran down here, and I was like, what? But it broke every single thing down. I was like, that's too much. But I seen someone else pitch as an example that we were showing, and I was like, oh, okay, well, no, we're not gonna do it like that. We need to do it this way. So this is great. Yes. That you can give me this feedback. Now, this is a picture of me and my youth niece who I made our clothes, and we did another fashion show and came down. And that is this a great picture to keep here?
I would say keep it there.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I would say all your pictures you do have are not bad.
Okay.
And the other part is the pictures and where the placement at is not going to fully matter as much as your words of you.
Okay. But definitely the graph needs to go, and that needs to be a picture that actually goes with that. So really, it seems like wording is my issue, and the amount of words.
Condensing,
and pictures.
Yes, that's it. Yep.
So do you think I have a great business
idea? Yes, you have a built business that is building more. You're helping your community. You're also moving money. You have products. You know how to run a business. And then the only thing that I would say is that you're confident on the House of El Rouge. It sounds like the new part of it is what you're building, but may not be confident talking fully about in this forum. So what I would say is if you have, and for me, it's just, I know my numbers, I know my product, and I know my business. Then I can talk about it. So it's like, hi, we're SYO. This is our little history. House of El Rouge. This is what we are selling, and this is the problem and the solution. And I know my numbers, so then now I know that my business is going to need this, this, and this. And
Because at first, to be honest with you, I thought, even with SYO, since it's still one and the same, I could say the House of Ella Rouge, this is why the House of Ella Rouge, I need the funding for this because it's still.
you could say House of Ella. You could say SYO by House of Ella Rouge if you wanted to.
Guess actually that's what I wanted,
So
but I didn't know if that's too much.
well, it won't be if you say it, and then if it's the fact, you can just have
But
it right
it
on
will
there.
be if it's on here. It's better to.
You could have it small. Honestly, you could say on your front page it could be your name, your logo, and you can say like by House of Ella Rouge or powered by House of Ella Rouge. It doesn't have to be that big, and you don't have to have it on there either.
Okay.
So-
Just wonder because I wanted to say that and I thought that's what I'm saying. I need to go with my first mind.
Yeah.
Because I kind of pulled that out of there. And okay, because I know you got to get with some other students. The other question that I have is with the way we have these slides. I know it's 6. Do you happen to know what should be in each one of them? Like, do you have any recommendations? Like the first, second, third.
How about I email you? Charles has a document list that breaks down a few of the things that are in there needed. I'll take a look at that later and see.
That's what I'm asking because
So-
we're kind of confused. There's another student out there who, for number 5, I put marketing, and for number 5 they put revenue, and so we're like, number 4 is saying who's your market, but number 4 on here is saying who's our what's our solution. So we're trying to get on board to figure out like which one should we follow? You know what I mean?
Yes, most certainly.
Because I didn't really have that in here, but I did have that in the beginning paragraph, like from age 5 to 19. But I'm wondering, is that something you feel I need to add? Even though I did talk about that's
Ages 5 to 19.
that's my market.
When you're talking and saying, helping youth ages 5 to 19.
Well, so this is the one really quick before I go.
Oh, yeah.
I put it under problem because I didn't know where to really put it, but I put the customer, which is my target market, youth between the ages 5 to 19, elementary, middle school, high school students, youth interested in fashion, arts, and beauty. But does that belong there, or does that belong on its whole own slide?
I don't think that it will belong in its whole slide. I think on the problem page might be a good place to put it because
so it should stay on the problem.
yes, because you're identifying where the problem's at, who the problem's with, and what the problem is.
Great. Okay, so I'm okay.
Yes, I would just the data on the graph may be helpful, but I'd get rid of it. Yeah,
we're taking that out, but
and that
this
stuff
is still okay.
Yes, and if it's wordy, shorten it. But if it's not, if you don't want to, keep it as it is.
No, I'm taking all the advice. I love advice, especially being a business owner. So thank you.
Absolutely. Can you do me a favor? Can you say your full name and then the name of your business?
I am Antalisha O'Bannon. I am the fashion designer and CEO of the House of Ella Rouge as well as SYO.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And it was nice.
Nice talking to you too.
Same.
Thank you so much. So much information. I know I was so sad when I missed